Well, the other thing I did this week is I did watch episode 7 of The Acolyte. And
Oh boy. So that's why the guy was in a force bubble for 10 years and decided to
oh yes, and we're gonna have a Jamook shirt too.
self-delete. Yes. Oh, the
So
Jamook shirt. Oh, I want to hear about that one.
well, it's because of the ad that I keep playing for Colt 45.
Oh, okay.
So we knew this episode was coming, right? We knew we were gonna get the extended version of what happened on the planet with the witches, the coven, and go from a different point of view, and it was going to explain everything better to understand what was going on. And for the first time I went, fuck, John's right. This was so poorly written.
For the first time? For the first time?
Come on.
It took you till episode 7 to realize that?
Don and I have been trying to defend the show, saying it's not the worst thing. And
even Don can't defend this one after 7, man.
But
they could have done something really clever and shut everybody up.
I want to start instead,
it was the most stupid decisions. Every character just did something to advance this imaginary plot.
So Torben, I want to start with Torben because that's the one that's bothering me the most.
I want to go home.
Exactly.
I want to go home. You're a Jedi. Shut up. I want to go home.
Thrawn says the speeder bike chase was badly filmed. I was left.
Yeah, where did the $180 million go, man? Like, I don't just like, how where did is the catering from like foreign lands or something? Did they get the catering directly from China and Indonesia? I mean, come on.
I'm trying to be completely 100% honest here. Like, special effects aside, the writing was so bad. Like, again, Torben's motivation was, I want to go home. He nearly he abandoned all of his Jedi training. He didn't listen to anyone. He ran in to capture these girls because he wanted to go home.
Which he didn't have to do because they were already going to let them take the test.
Yes.
So he did it for no reason except that this plot has this paint by numbers thing that every character has to do without any logical reason why each character is doing what they're doing. Not even to their own character is it logical. Oh, yeah.
Ladies' makeup is from Chanel, apparently. And then, like, there's another thing that's bothering me, and it's a writing trope that's usually done in stuff like this that they threw out because usually what they do is in a situation where they do a flashback where there's 4 characters or whatever, there's a group of characters and they did something bad and they tell you the story from one point of view and then they go back, but like they're killing the characters along the way. It's usually the characters who did the horrendous stuff that are the first that are killed, you know, before you find out what was going on, and then you see if the other ones survive. But what's her face from the Matrix?
You mean Jedi Trinity?
Yes, Jedi Trinity did nothing wrong, and she was the first killed in the first 5 minutes of the first show by a dagger, and it was just like, what? Like, that's, I mean, I know it's silly, but that's bothering me. Like, she should be the only one who survives because she did nothing wrong, but yet, no, she was the first killed. Carrie-Anne Moss, in Daria, that's her name. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the Wookiee, was mind controlled.
Yep. And when Indara went into his mind to shut off the mind control, it automatically somehow they must have all been on the same wavelength as the Githyanki or whatever from the from the first Avengers movie, because you switch one off, they all go off.
That was
it's like the old Christmas lights. When one of the Christmas, if they're all in a series, if one Christmas light go out, they all go out, and then you have to figure out which one the hell is the one that went out. So apparently they killed all the witches.
That's poor writing, and I feel like they're trying to make you feel bad for the Coven because they all died because of that, but they're the ones that was controlling the Wookiee to kill the other ones. So like they put themselves in that position. I can't feel sorry for them. So it's like it's just such bad writing, Thrawn, I was expecting the Jedi kills to get better and more complex after Trinity, but only it's become more confounding.
Kassan is not saying anything, and it's probably because he took the smart way out and didn't watch this. I wonder if anybody else wants to comment, because this is just this whole show is like was it Anastasia, the mother witch, turns into the smoke monster and starts deleting the was it Osha?
No, that was May.
Oh, May starts deleting May, and so of course, what are the Jedi going to do when they see that? Well, they're Jedi, and at least the writers got that part of it right. And of course, she's going to kill the person who's trying to kill a child. And then, of course, then you get this bullshit thing of the mother saying, "I was going to let Osha survive." Fine, screw you. It's like, what did you expect a Jedi to do when they're standing right in front of you? You start to kill a child after turning into a threatening smoke monster, for crying out freaking loud.
Kassan says the writing has been terrible from the first episode. People defended it because the nostalgia armor that comes with anything Star Wars.
That armor's pretty damn thin now. It's got a lot of holes in it, and they're just
here's the thing.
They're fire on the side, and they're just getting bigger. It's just
Soul sees May disappearing, who he thinks is Osha. That's another important factor in the episode. And he stabs at the black cloud, and when he sees that he killed the mother,
this was him.
He looked shocked, like he didn't think it was going to kill her. I really believe that. I think it was an act. I think that was an accident. However,
but no, it wasn't. It wasn't an accident on his part. She turned into a smoke monster.
No, I meant I don't think he thought it was going to kill her like that. I think he was shocked by that. The look on his face is
shocked. That's true, because a lot of people seem to survive being stabbed with a lightsaber, just a rod of pure plasma.
Yes. But I mean, she was a smoke monster. Who thinks that stabbing the smoke monster is going to make her come solid again and die? Like, I think he was trying to stop the spell, not necessarily kill her. But the
stab went right through where her abdomen had been.
But then we get to the scene on the bridge where Osha and May are across from each other, and now we see Soul was holding them both up, and he's struggling, which is annoying because Yoda can lift an X-Wing without breaking a sweat, and it's supposed to be a Jedi Master. But anyway, disregard that. And then you see him make a choice, and he chooses Osha and lets May fall.
He couldn't have caught them both.
Exactly. Like, it was like, oh, come on. Like, that was just, you rode him into a corner to make him bad. And it's like, but like, there's nothing in this show other than maybe the first time May and Soul meet, but not even really. Like, he should be showing that he's happy she's alive and regret, and like, it just
you're talking about a show where Soul doesn't realize that he's got the other twin when he's supposed to be a Jedi Master, Force sensitive enough, and very skilled in mind reading, and he didn't even know that the person he was with was not the one that he had trained with for like 5 years. He didn't detect anything wrong at all.
Well, yeah. Wait, Kassan says the completely fumbled the motive of the Coven. Nothing they showed validated the Coven's actions, nor does it make the Jedi's morals questionable. But
it makes their actions are questionable, but not their morals. Yes,
right. They defended children they thought were in danger. The Coven did nothing to assuage the fear.
Yes,
I don't totally disagree with that, but yet
I agree with it.
They also didn't like talk to the Coven. They broke into their home twice. to you know what I'm saying? Like they didn't like try to.
The first time they didn't break in, they entered and asked to talk to them, and they talked, and then they left, and that was it.
No, they hacked the platform to get in, the elevator to get in. Like she says, the carrie-anne Moss says, "Can you slice it?" Which slicing is hacking in the Star Wars universe, and so they did technically break in the first time. So yeah,
which also doesn't. Yeah, I get. I mean, like again, nobody is staying true to their character. Every character in this is being treated as a pawn in a chess game, and they're just doing what they're supposed to advance this very poorly thought out plot. And so
that's
because none of them have any true personality matrix that has rules of things they will do and won't do. And shows what they like and what they don't like and what dreams they have and what the like. No, since you can't glom onto anything about any character, you don't care about any of these characters because there's no way for you to connect to any of them.
That's my point. They did not. They had opportunities to develop the characters' motivations and morals and all that stuff, and I feel like they just dropped the ball in all of it, and they just wrote the characters to further the plot, not to tell a story.
Yeah, this is what happens when you have a plot and then you try to then you throw characters at it to make it happen, but you don't put much thought into the characters at all. They're just there to make the plot to make the plot happen. That's all this. Again, it's just every single and you're right. Like the Jedi could have reported back to the council and said, well, they did this, we did this, the witches did this, we did this. And they may have been questioned about, okay, slicing into the place. But after that, everything is like, oh, you stopped them from taking over the Wookiee's mind and they all died. And there's no way you could have known that was going to happen. Okay. I mean, they were taking over a Jedi's mind. You had to do something. Oh, she turned into a smoke monster and one of the kids started self-deleting. Oh, well, no, you killed, you use your lightsaber to kill her. Oh, okay. Well, we Jedi, we defend children. That's fine. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, there's not, and I think the writer, the former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, seems to think that we're also all supposed to believe that these witches were aggrieved and that, they were put upon by the Jedi, and the Jedi are, questionable and they, but none of it makes sense at all.
Right. Okay. Kassan says every action serves a plot the writers thought was genius.
Yes.
The plot is so obvious. No amount of flashing lightsabers can distract us from it. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, agreed. Like, oh, and then wait, hold on. Thrawn kill 15 minutes with
Quimir would have made so much more difference.
Right. Like, they also hint that, like, we know him from that night earlier in the show. He doesn't show up. He was nowhere around.
Maybe they're waiting for the 8th episode to show that. We're going to get a third perspective of that night.
There's one episode left, and I'm more confused about it now. How are they going to wrap it up? Like, now they shit the bed, and it's like, and now we're going to get some stupid wrap up that doesn't make sense, and I'm pissed. Like, I was really giving this show a chance and really trying to defend it, but like, I can't see some kind of brilliant ending that's going to make me love it. And you're right. Like, I feel like the writer's mind was, well, the coven was just wronged, and so everyone's going to be on the side of the coven. And it's like, no, like, they tried to kill May. They tried to kill May. They created them somehow. They still haven't explained that. They're somehow were created. They're not, and they're the same person too, which was weird. Half of this show could have been erased by May just walking up and saying, "Hey, yo, here's what I know about what happened that night." You know, first off, finding her sister and saying, "Hey, I'm alive," and then here's what I think happened that night, and them compare notes, you know, and then figure it out. But like, no one talks. Everyone just fights. It's like,
here, let me bring this up from Kassan because I think he's right. Quimir will be a victim of the green Jedi, the green bean Jedi. The scars on his back look like whip inflicted injuries. I think that's where they're going with this. Because why else would he have those scars? And yes, like how do you survive any kind of whipping with a lightsaber whip? Really? A lightsaber whip?
I don't have an issue with the lightsaber whip.
I kind of have an issue with the lightsaber whip because they've never shown that they could adjust. I mean, that's not how the lightsabers work. Not in any canon. That's not how any of the lightsabers ever worked.
They've had lightsaber whips before.
Have they?
Yeah, in the animated shows. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, and like, but like, that is such a small little detail. What does Kassan say here? Any plot that can be squashed from a 5-minute conversation between characters isn't worth its salt. Yeah.
Well, you've seen that they've taken that trope of, character asks character 1 asks character 2, you know, can I talk to you about something? And then before character 1 can start to explain, something happens, and then they have to part, and they don't get to talk about the thing that is crucial to everything that's going on and would probably abrogate any of this ever happening. But then because the writer is such a an SMRT person, the characters go back, you know, when they re-meet, they're like, well, you know, that moment's passed. I don't need to say anything now. I don't need to talk about the thing that's crucial to everything that's going on. I'll just wait till later. Like,
that's the thing.
What the hell?
That's the thing too. You had said that he couldn't tell it was May. That's ticking me off because the episode prior to that, Soul doesn't call her May or Osha, or say, like, up to this point he just says May or Osha when referring to them. All of a sudden in that episode, in the previous episode, he said, "Where's your sister?" or something about your sister, like making it ambiguous, as if to hint that, oh, he knows they're switched. No, he didn't know. It was like, really?
Yeah.
Like, why did you hint that he knew and then say, no, he didn't know? I know that was a dumb episode too. The show, all of a sudden the ship isn't working and she reset the system. That was just written in there to give the show time. And it's just like,
well, you know, there's also things like, and you know, I haven't been here for 2 weeks, so I didn't get to talk about the previous episodes, but stuff like Soul is in the ship, right? They're about to leave. They leave, and within like 5 seconds, the other ship shows up. Now, this is in the Outer Rim, and the other ship came from Coruscant. It should have taken like a week at least to get to this planet, and yet they arrive 5 seconds after Soul leaves. Like, it's like if the characters don't have any limits to what they do, except to drive a plot, and if time doesn't mean anything, distance doesn't mean anything, then nothing means anything, and you cannot care about any of this.
Kasan says all 7 episodes could have been wrapped up in 2. They're really stretching the content thin. Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
I would have given it 4, but only 4.
This is what I'm. This is what I was about to say. Like the pace of this show is excruciating, and at first I was like okay with it, but there's things going on that we're wasting time on because I feel like we want 8 episodes. They had a horrible story they pitched, and they're like, okay, now we got to stretch this out 8 episodes, but they do dumb things like the ship all of a sudden loses power and they have to reboot the system before they can move, and there's a whole episode around that.
It must be running on Windows. I mean, you know, like,
while Osha's on a planet with Smilo Ren, and you know,
and getting all hot and bothered. Oh my god!
While he decides to take a bath and
naked in front of her, because that's how Star Wars works.
Well, again, people had an issue with that. I don't really care about that aspect of it, but
don't you care about Osha suddenly getting turned on by the? Well, it must be the bad boy syndrome. I don't know. I don't get that.
They said the planet was in the outer rim, but the travel length is nowhere near that. What we see in TPM. What's TPM?
The Phantom Menace.
Oh, yes.
The Phantom Menace.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they talk about that kind of stuff all the time in Star Wars, and now all of a sudden it was like, nope, we're there in 5 seconds.
Yeah. And 3 seconds after they found out, it wasn't like they sent the message and then they were orbiting the planet for a week. So
Kasan, they didn't even give a reason for the ship's failure. It just failed because the plot needed time. Plot belongs to the dark side. Exactly. That's the thing. It was like, it was just a failure for no reason. Just there's something's wrong. Like they could have said Pip reset, was doing something to stop them because he knew that was May or anything, but nope, just reset.
Oh yeah, well, all of Pip's actions mean nothing too, because Pip could have gone up to Soul and at least pantomime something, even though Soul doesn't understand. But Soul could have read Pip's mind. I mean, like anything could have happened, but instead Pip goes. It has to be the comedic relief and go over and try to attack.
I was listening to another podcast this week on a walk, and they were talking about the show, and something hit me, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Now the show was recorded last week, so they were just up to episode 6, and the one host said, I can't get into the show because I don't care about these characters. And their question was, why this story? Like it doesn't feel like it ties into the greater Star Wars universe.
In 8 they're going to try to tie it to one of the Sith Lords that's supposedly alive around this time. It because they're that stupid.
Pip is a marketing opportunity only, nothing else. And then Thrawn says, so Pip giving May a money shot. What's their idea of comedy? That is terrible. That is terrible. I will not condone that kind of talk. No, but
I will slightly agree with it.
No. And it's like, I thought about that too, right? Like, if you're going to put it 100 years before the Phantom Menace and then have characters that are in the Phantom Menace in it and the Jedi Council and everything, and it could easily be the setup, which is what I think fans were expecting, the setup of Palpatine coming, or it's Palpatine's master. Like, I think that's what people were expecting, but no, that's not what they're giving us. If they are and they're waiting to the last episode to reveal it, it's going to be what? But where it's like you could have told like, to me, a more interesting story would have been go back thousands of years or whatever it is, and
Hundreds
show
of
us
years. Could be hundreds. Yeah.
hundreds of years, and show us them forming the Jedi religion, and like, so characters are so far removed from anything, but like an interesting story of how they realized what the Force was and how Jedi came to their beliefs, and have it make sense for like why we're here now, in a sense. But no, like they give us a story that doesn't make a lot of pardon me sense in how it fits into everything else. Like, it doesn't. Like, no one cares. Like, in 100 years, no one cared about any of these characters. It had no effect on anything. Why am I watching it? That's what the host was saying, and I'm like, I can see that.
I'm sorry Don isn't here, because I mean, I feel sorry that fans like him are having to deal with this, and I understand his point of view that Star Wars is just to have fun, but
Right.
this isn't fun. This show isn't fun. Even if you don't listen to any review whatsoever, and you're just watching the show itself, and you are, you've got, and you're, for the last 8 weeks, you've had your phone turned off and you haven't looked at the internet at all. Even if the only input you've had over the last 8 weeks is just watching the show, you still haven't had fun. In fact, you probably are you're probably already having the same questions that everybody else on the internet is already asking.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem with that is that anybody like us that are like, this doesn't make sense, that doesn't make sense, Disney and their goons will come after you and call you a misogynist. Call people like me a misogynist. Me. What? I mean,
Well, you are, but I mean, that's another story.
Yeah.
No, like, it's not even like that's not just Disney. That's a lot of stuff in Hollywood now. Like, and it's funny because there is a lot of good female-led movies, a lot of good female-led stories that we all enjoy. And yeah, it's like, oh, I'm not going to write something good. I'm just going to call you misogynist. Like, no, just write something good.
Yeah.
What could a season 2 even look or be about? I don't think they're going to get a season 2 at all. Like, I really don't.
Better not. How could they?
Yeah, like Arcane and Hot D.
Oh, Arcane's getting up. Arcane is getting a
yeah. Well, it's announced, so yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a trailer out for season 2. So
I don't get the reference of Hot D though.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, House of the Dragon. Duh.
Oh.
Yeah, House of the Dragon.
Okay.
Yeah, I still have not watched that, but yeah, and I've heard it's very good. Go figure.
Yeah. Okay. I thought he meant something really bad with Hot D.
Stop. Oh, there's your inappropriate joke. Okay.
All right.
You only get one.
I only get one.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
It. Sorry. Your allotment has been used up.
So, long story short, we only have one episode left to go. And okay. Oh, Thrawn says I actually want to watch Kite Man. That's coming out. And John, I'm on season 1 of Dragon. It's worth it. Okay.
I'll get to it at some point.
But anyway, I was going to say is that there's one episode left to go. We will watch it for you, so you don't have to, and we'll report next week on how badly the show, or good, the show ends.
We'll tell you how bad it is and the number of shots we had to take to get to the end of it.
Oh my God. I can't. It was so bad. His motivation is he wanted to go home.
I told you.
Soul's motivation was I want a Padawan, and I think I want it to be one of these girls.
No, it was like he imprinted on her. It's like, that's my Padawan. It's like, oh, that's kind of creepy, man.
Yes,
that is really kind of creepy. It's like
it was kind. Yes, it was kind of creepy.
You don't know anything about her, but suddenly, and it was just Osha, not May. It's like, okay, but they're supposed to be twins. So how are you imprinting on? Don't tell me, oh, it's the Force, because okay, the Force should be registered somewhere.
We don't know what the Wookiee's motivation at all was, because he's just there. They don't.
He was there to be controlled by. Again, he was a pawn for the writer to be there to actually be threatening when the witches took over his mind, because he's a Wookiee. But by the same token, he didn't do shit even when he was mind controlled, and he's a freaking Wookiee. He swings a lightsaber, an entire forest should go down. You know, they're not known for their weakness. I mean, the first time we see a Wookiee do something was in the Creature Cantina, and he ripped somebody's arm off.
Yeah. No, it's bad. And like, why, I don't know. Why we're going to torture ourselves one more season or one more episode, I don't know, but we have to. We're there. All right. That's enough Acolyte talk. I have a headache. Thanks for watching this clip from the Superhero Speak podcast. And don't forget to watch us live every Sunday night right here on this channel.
While you're here, hit the subscribe button and click the bell for notifications so you won't miss out on any of our great upcoming content.
Speaking of content, don't forget to check out our website, superheroespeak.com, where you can find the podcast, links to our social media, merch, comic reviews, and so much more. That's superheroespeak.com.
Thanks for watching, and don't let your cape be caught in the door. See you next time.